The indigenous people in the Philippines. Indigenous people are distinct social and cultural groups that share collective ancestral ties to the lands and natural resources where they lived, occupy, or from which they have been displaced. There are 13 different indigenous tribal groups in the Philippines, which are the Ita, Agda, or Aita are an indigenous people who live in scattered, isolated mountainous parts of Luzon, Philippines. They are considered to be Negritos, who are dark to very dark brown skinned and tend to have features such as small stature, small frame, curly to kinky afro, like textured hair with a higher frequency of natural lighter hair color, blondism, relative to the general population, small nose, and dark brown eyes. They are thought to be among the earliest inhabitants of the Philippines, preceding the Austronesian migrations. The Eta were included in the group of people termed Negrito during Spanish colonial rule as Negritos. Various Eta groups in northern Luzon are known as Pugot or Pugot, a name designated by their Ilocano-speaking neighbors, and which is the colloquial term for those with darker complexions. In Ilocano, the word also means goblin or fire spirit. The Lumad are a group of Austronesian indigenous people in the southern Philippines. It is a Cebuano term meaning native or indigenous. The term is short for Katauhang Lumad. The auto name officially adopted by the delegates of the Lumad Mindanao People Federation founding assembly on 26 June 1986 at the Guadalupe Formation Center, Balindog, Kidapawan, Cotabato, Philippines. Usage of the term was accepted in Philippine jurisprudence when President Corazon Aquino signed into law Republic Act 6734, where the word was used in art. Section 8.2 to distinguish Lumad ethnic communities from the islands of Mindanao. The Moro people or Bangsamoro people are the 13 Muslim majority ethno-linguistic Austronesian groups of Mindanao, Sulu, and Palawan, native to the region known as the Bangsamoro. As Muslim majority ethnic groups, they form the largest non-Christian population in the Philippines and comprise about 5% of the country's total population or 5 million people. Most Moros are followers of Sunni Islam of the Shafi'i school of faith. The Moros were once independent under a variety of local states, including the Sultanate of Sulu, the Sultanate of Maguindanao, and the Confederation of Sultanates in Lanao. Withstanding repeated Spanish invasions, the Moro states remained de facto independent up until the Moro Rebellion of the early 20th century. Upon Philippine independence in 1946, the Moros continued their struggle for self-determination against a predominantly Christian Philippines, culminating in a decades-long insurgency of armed rebel groups, chief among them the Moro National Liberation Front or MNLF and the Moro Islamic Liberation Front or MILF against the armed forces of the Philippines. The Sama Bajau includes several Austronesian ethnic groups of maritime Southeast Asia. The name collectively refers to the related people who usually call themselves the Sama or Sama or are known by the Ikso name Badjao, also spelled Badjao. They usually live a seaborne lifestyle and use small wooden sailing vessels such as the Peraho, Dinjin, Lipa, and Venta. Some Sama Badjao groups native to the Sabah are also known for their traditional house culture. The Sama Badjao are the dominant ethnic group of the islands of Tawi-Tawi in the Philippines. They are also found in other islands of the Sulu archipelago, coastal areas of Mindanao, and other islands in the northern Philippines, as well as northern and eastern Borneo, Sulawesi, and throughout the eastern Indonesian islands. In the Philippines, they are grouped with the religiously similar Moro people. Within the last 50 years, many of the Filipino Sama Badjao have migrated to neighboring Sabah in the northern islands of the Philippines due to the conflict in Mindanao. As of 2010, they were the second largest ethnic group in Sabah. The indigenous people of the Cordillera Mountain Range of northern Luzon, Philippines, often referred to be the Axoname Igorot people, or more recently as the Cordilleran peoples, are an ethnic group composed of 9 main ethno-linguistic groups whose domains are in the Cordillera Mountain Range, altogether numbering about 1.5 million people in the early 21st century. Their languages belong to the Northern Luzon subgroup of Philippine languages, which in turn belongs to the Austronesian family. These ethnic groups kept or have kept until recently their traditional religion and way of life. Some live in the tropical forests at the foothills, but most live in rugged grassland and pine forest zones higher up. The ethnic Ixonain Tinguan or Tingyuan are an Austronesian ethnic group from the upland province of Obra in northwestern Luzon, Philippines. The ethnic live in the mountainous area of Obra in northwestern Luzon, who descended from immigrants from Kalinga, Apayao, and the northern Kankanaey. They refer to themselves as ethnic, though the Spanish called them Tingyuan when they came to the Philippines because they are mountain dwellers. The Tingyuans are further divided into 9 distinct subgroups, which are the Adasin, Babaka, Kubang, Banaw, Binongon, Danak, Huyudan, Gawangan, and Inlaod. Mangyan is the generic name for the 8 indigenous groups found in the Philippines of Mindoro, southwest of the islands of Luzon. The Philippines, each with its own tribal name, language, and customs. The total population may be around 280,001, but official statistics are difficult to determine under the conditions of remote areas, reclusive tribal groups, and some having little, if any, outside world contact. The ethnic groups of the islands from north to south are Iraya, Alangan, Tadyawan, Taubuwid, called Batangan by lowlanders on the west of the islands, Buhid, Hanunu, and additional group of the southernmost tip is the Ratagnon, who appear to be intermarried with neighboring Bisaya, Cuyonon lowlanders. The group known on the east of Mindoro as Bangon may be a subgroup of Taubuwid, as they speak the western dialect of the language. They also have a kind of poetry called the Ambahan. The Maranao people is a predominantly Muslim Filipino ethnic group native to the region around Lanao Lake in the island of Mindanao. They are known for their artwork, weaving, wood, plastic and metal crafts, and epic literature, the Darangin. They are ethnically and culturally close related to the Iranon and Magindanaon, all three groups being denoted as speaking the Nau language and giving name to the island of Mindanao. They are grouped with other Moro people due to their shared religion. The Ivatan people are an Austronesian ethno-linguistic group native to the Batanes and Babuyan Islands of the northernmost Philippines. They are genetically closely related to other ethnic groups in northern Luzon, but also share close linguistic and cultural affinities to the Tao people of Orchid Island in Taiwan. The culture of the Ivatans is partly influenced by the environmental condition of Batanes. Unlike the old-type nipa huts common in the Philippines, Ivatans have adapted their now famous stone houses made of coral and limestone, designed to protect against the hostile climate. The Ibaloy are an indigenous ethnic group found in Benguet province of the northern Philippines. Ibaloy is derived from I prefix signifying pertaining to in Badoy or house, together then meaning people who live in houses. The Ibaloy are one of the indigenous people collectively known as Igorot, who live in the Cordillera Central of Luzon. The Subanon is an indigenous group to the Zamboanga Peninsula area, particularly living in the mountainous areas of Zamboanga del Sur and Misamis Occidental, Mindanao Island, Philippines. The Subanon people speak Subanon languages. The name is derived from the word Suba or Suba, a word common in Sulu, Visayas, and Mindanao, which indicates a locality or place of origin. Accordingly, the name Subanon means a person or people of the river. These people originally lived in the low-lying areas. However, due to the disturbances and competitions from other settlers like the Moros and migrations of Cebuano speakers and individuals from Luzon and other parts of Visayas to the coastal areas, attracted by the inviting land tenure laws, further pushed the Subanon into the interior. The Waray is an Austronesian language and the fifth most spoken native regional language of the Philippines, native to eastern Visayas. It is the native language of the Waray people and second language of the Abaknon people of Kapol Northern Samar and some Cebuano-speaking peoples of western and southern parts of Leyte Island. It is the third most spoken language among the Visayan languages, only behind Cebuanos and Hiligaynon. The Iskaya, less commonly known as the Visayan Iskaya, is the collective name for the members of a cultural minority found in Bohol, Philippines, which is distinguished by its cultural heritage, particularly its literature, language, dress, and religious observances. After the Iskaya first came to the public attention in 1980, these cultural practices were the subject of intense speculation on the part of local journalists and amateur historians who made diverse claims about the ethno-linguistic status of the Iskaya people.